Welcome to the Shoot It Straight podcast. I feel like we haven't recorded in a minute, but we did last week.
Yeah. It was a special episode.
It's a special episode. By the time this one comes out, everyone will, of course, have known that we had Neil, the co-founder of Stick Mobility, on, which was super fun. We're looking forward to having more guests in the future.
Very knowledgeable movement specialist. So it was a good chat. Got to learn some stuff.
You're really into the movement side, and I find that his business model is really fascinating. And their product is really cool, and how they've scaled and all of that stuff. I mean, it's like just a lot of like right place, right time, but also like a really smart idea.
I thought about this afterwards. Like, I wonder, because, the sticks last so long. I wanted to ask him, like, did you intend them lasting this long, or you wanted people to buy more sticks?
Well, that's like how products are made.
He's like, damn,
now.
you've had that stick for like 6 years. Like, I was hoping you'd buy more by now, but like the original ones I bought are still good. So
no, I thought about that. I thought about like asking about that when I was asking about the quality of his product, and I think maybe that's for another episode, but the quality, it matters, I think, for them a lot more. And so now they're focusing more of their business model on like the digital products and the trainings and all of that kind of stuff. Which
you got to find a way to make more money.
Well, you got to find a way to to continue to scale.
Right.
But
it's like, that's why I always talk about, like, one of my clients talking about buying like some dumbbells. He has the adjustable ones, which those things get in your way. They're ridiculous. They also break. And so he was looking at, like a set of Rogue dumbbells from 5 to 50 pounds is like, I don't know, it's like $1,000 to get that many dumbbells, I think. And he's like, oh my God, that's so expensive. I was like, well, they last forever. And like, the brand like Rogue, they probably got to think like, okay, well, this guy's never going to buy dumbbells from me again. So I gotta get a pretty penny out of this sale. So,
well, I mean, you don't want fitness equipment to break like when you're using it. Like even like the stick, if you're doing something like where you're bending and something snapped on you, that would be extremely dangerous. And so that goes for like a lot of fitness equipment. But yeah, I mean, it's funny, like the perspective, right, of thinking $1,000 for an entire set of dumbbells. To me, I'm like, that's totally worth it. That's amazing.
Might have been more, but yeah.
Right. But it's like, we think about when we started our gym back in Austin during the pandemic, and we were not making a lot of money, and it was worth it to us to spend like $1,500 on scavenging like barbells and some weight plates and some dumbbells. And that's what we did. I mean, we probably did end up spending like $2,000, but like how much did that pay for itself just in us being able to like use it and enjoy it for the year when it became it and train clients using that stuff.
So obviously. Yeah, made the money back on that too.
But outside of that, like, again, it's just like, well, it's just kind of dependent on what you find valuable, because
same thing with golf clubs.
Same thing. Did I send you that video? At the end of today's episode, by the way, we're going to do I want to talk about this now. We're going to do a what we're obsessed with, or what we can't let go of this week. And I want everyone to definitely stay tuned for that. But remind me to come back to what I thought of in the beginning of this episode, because I'm going to bring that up later.
You're probably going to have to remember that, because I don't remember stuff like that.
Just stay tuned.
Might want to write that down or something.
Yeah, no, but I sent you this video of this guy. Sometimes I get the funniest golf reels, and it was this guy standing there with his dog, and he was like, my biggest fear is when I die, my wife selling my golf clubs for the amount I told her I paid for them.
Yep.
And that's it. That's the video with like some sad song in the background or something.
That's a good point.
She's like, oh yeah, you can buy here. I'll sell this bag for $100. No big deal.
Oh.
No.
That's a good one.
I know.
Well, like, it's funny. Like, I just hear you, like, I stay downstairs and watch like a episode of Yellowstone. I just hear you upstairs in your bedroom, like laughing out loud. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I look at my phone. It's like reel sent to me, and you're up there. Like,
I'm laughing just thinking about the laughing. There's something about like relaxing at night and just being entertained. TV is so much more boring than like looking at funny reels. Like, people are so creative on the internet, and I either get like something sports, fitness related, or dogs. That's 100% of the content that I have on my phone. That's it.
Yeah, you gotta dive. You gotta dive into a good show and put your phone away every once in a while.
I'm just gonna politely decline that right now. That's just like what I'm into, and it's funny, and it does make me. People are hysterical. These just like random people all over the internet that aren't
They are funny. I mean,
I mean,
I'm a prank guy. I like the prank videos.
Yeah, you do.
Those are always hilarious. Like the guy, he had a water gun, and he was behind the doors when you open up at the convenience store and you get like a Gatorade or something cold, and he's like standing back there and he's like he goes pew pew and shoots him with a water gun. They're like, ah, it's so funny.
Yeah, you like lost your shit on that one.
Oh
That
my
one's
God.
like, that one's funny, but it's like, okay, like,
I mean, could you imagine like being that
Nice.
person? You open it up, you're like trying to figure out like which flavor of Gatorade you want. You get shot in the face with the water gun. Like, it'd be so startling and ridiculous.
you did it over and over and
Did it
over
all the
again.
time. That was hilarious.
Pew, pew.
Yeah, he made that noise. I'd be afraid someone would whoop your ass, but I think it's a little staged, but it was funny.
It had to be. It just because after a certain number of those, some of those guys were rough, and they would have probably lit some people up.
Yeah, they weren't like
If I
soccer
had to
moms,
profile
like
some
which
of the
soccer
guys.
moms were probably more dangerous than some of those guys, but you know.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for like some Karen moment. Anyway, I think this is a good lead into like what we're talking about today, which is just the ability to have more autonomy in your training, in your fitness, in your goals, and to like add play to your life. We're just going to talk a lot about sort of what it's the nuance between following a program and having structure and, you know, wanting to achieve your goals and also like be able to live your life. I think that this has been a topic for me, like with my one-on-one clients that I'm still working with, and just also what I'm hearing in this space in general, just the vibe is like, optimize this, optimize sleep, ice bath protocols, you know, meditate 17 times. Like, it's getting to the point where people are like, I don't even have enough hours in the day to do all this like mindfulness, wellness bullshit that's out there. And so we've like overcorrected. I feel like this is kind of like what we do in our world, like this pendulum where we're like, lazy, not eating right, nobody's working out, whatever, to like there's studios everywhere and fitness everywhere and all of these scientists now that are saying do this, do this, do this, do this. So now there's like no in between, and we're like forgetting to have fun. And I'm not saying like I don't think it's about going to the bar, and we'll talk about the nuance, and I think this will be a good discussion, but just helping people navigate through that, and how specifically too, like with our programs, how you can follow a program and also still have some flexibility in your life.
Right. So I think where that whole thing gets crazy for people is then they turn into the all or nothing mentality, right? Like if I can't optimize everything, if I can't sleep this amount of hours, if I can't meditate, if I can't, cold plunge, if I can't do all this stuff, like in the golf world, like if I can't do my mobility work, if I can't do my strength work, if I can't do my speed work, if I can't do all my putting drills, blah, blah, like, the list goes on and on. It's like, well, then what am I doing? Like, why should I do any of it? So yeah, I think that's a good point, is like where we figure out like, it's not an all or nothing game. You can have some flexibility in what you're doing in the gym and in your life. But there's nuance to all that stuff.
Yeah. And so I think like a good way to start talking about this is like even just going through our programs and how to follow a program and what it means to follow a program, but also have less structure and rigidity.
Right.
And for people that are maybe hesitant to purchase our programs or start a workout routine, how does one, let's just kind of go through like a few different avatars of people. So like a beginner, a person who's brand new, who might be completely overwhelmed by the idea of a program and all of the things they're reading online and the diet stuff and the protocols on the ice bath and the sauna. How do you talk to that person and help them decide where to start?
So like if you're just starting, I think most people's lowest hanging fruit is usually like strength training, and people want to see progress, and like that's usually what keeps them engaged. And that's what will take them into the next step, right? So I always do talk about strength training. This reminded me like years ago when I was an area fitness manager and at Washington Sports Clubs up in DC, and it was like, I was speaking to, I can't remember how many it was, 20 or 30 or so, like brand new trainers. And that was one of the things like, hey, what's the number one thing I should be working on with my clients? And I was like, hey, the number one thing that's going to keep people coming into the gym is like a tangible result, something they can see. They're not going to be able to see how they look different or this or that, like right off the bat, but they're going to see like week by week that they're getting stronger. So if someone that's brand new, want to focus on strength training, and for our programs and specifically, you know, I program, there's 5 written, I like to put it this way to people, because I do get this question a lot, like, hey, there's 5 days that you have programmed just when you look at it on paper. But if you dive in deeper, you realize that, and if you can understand like what you're reading, it's like just on paper, like Tuesday's not that big a deal. Like on my programs, like day 2 is just a mobility day. It'll take you 15 minutes and it's not going to be very intense. The 5th day and the fourth day is like not super intense. And the 5th day is like straight up conditioning. So I tell people, like, when we're just getting started, if you can knock out like those first 2 days of the workouts 1 and 3, like the 2 biggest workouts of the week, those are like my, you know, most foundational ones that are in the program. Those are like, you know, the hierarchy of needs, if you will. Like those are going to be like the first 2 that I want you to knock out, because they're the most strength focused. And like as a beginner, that's where you need to start, because that's going to get you more mobility, power, and strength, of course.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. And I think you nailed it with the strength training piece. I think people, when we've talked about this before, want to focus on the body stuff. And a lot of people, of course, come to, especially beginners, people that are new or signing up for the gym for the first time in a long time. They want to lose weight. They want to lose fat. That's like number one goal from 99% of people, more than likely.
Right.
And while that can totally happen and will happen over time, getting stronger and building more lean mass and improving your metabolism, improving all of your biofeedback markers, like all of those things will totally improve. Being able to have those real results that are happening to keep you coming back and build that momentum, not so much motivation, because we know that also wanes for beginners after they're like always very excited for the first couple weeks. And then it's like, well, whatever, on to the next.
Right.
But if you're getting stronger in the gym, it's a really cool feeling. Mm-hmm. We've both experienced that ourselves, like new or not. It's like, it's very cool to see lifts going up and, you know, pain going away, injuries being less, like all of that kind of stuff.
Right. I mean, and I even went as far as, you know, because like when in my past like career as a regional fitness manager, like my job was to make sales and make the company money. Like that was a big deal, right? And so this presentation I gave to these trainers was like kind of about retention, like how you're going to keep these clients like actually coming to see you. And you got to make them happy. Right. And yes, they want to lose weight. They came to see you because they have these body composition goals. But what can you actually show them on paper in a month from now, what you've actually done for them?
Yeah.
And you can be like, hey, day 1, remember you couldn't even squat. You know, we're on day 30 now. You're squatting, holding that. And this one lady, she had a dog named, what was the dog's name? Ruby. And she was scared to like hold anything heavy. And I had to convince her that this kettlebell weighed as much as her dog, that she didn't mind carrying around. And I was like, now you can squat with Ruby, you know, and you couldn't squat at all. So like she, you know, her eyes lit up, like that made her really happy. So like, that's just another way that you show people that you're getting them results, but also like keep them coming. And so like as a beginner, that's a really good place to start. Like strength is always like where you want someone to start. And then we layer all the other stuff on, because I would see trainers, someone came in and said, hey, I want to lose weight. I want to look like this. Right. So it's like, okay, they think I'm gonna give them what they want. They want a bunch of cardio because they think that's what's gonna help them lose weight, right? They didn't lose the weight. They didn't get any stronger. They canceled and they quit.
Yep.
And then my job was made harder because my job was to keep the company running financially. Yeah. So it was like, you just want to help everything, the company and the person and the trainer and everyone involved.
Well, I want to talk about retention actually, because retention is important from the client standpoint too. And yes, we've both been on the business side, and we know that retention is important. And for those that don't know, retention is just a matter of, are you keeping the clients that are signing up with you, and for how long? Is it 30 days? Is it 6 weeks? On average at a gym, what is it? Literally 3 months or something like that?
I think that's like,
gym space.
Yeah, like the Globo gym. Yeah, people don't stick around that long. Now the people that do end up with a personal trainer stick around a lot longer.
There's people that end up, yes, they do. And so again, from a program perspective, back to just like following a program, and for anybody like starting a fitness routine on the client side, you want retention. You want to stick with the program. We as coaches want our clients to stick with the program, because this is something you and I preach all the time. It's like, there isn't a 30-day fix. Like, again, there will be things that you see from day 0 to day 30 for sure. But the stuff that really works is the boring shit that you do month after month after month after month. And as as mundane as it can be on paper sometimes, if you're just program hopping or going from one thing to the next and you're spinning your wheels, and this is you who's been doing this over and over and over again in your life, you might want to just pick a program and stick to it. Mm-hmm. Because I think that's another thing, aside from the all or nothing mentality, is life got in the way. I had to take off a week or two. And so therefore I'm done with that. And I'm just going to quit and I'll start over again, probably a year from now or whenever it's convenient and things aren't as crazy, quote unquote, or whatever. Right. As opposed to just like keep going and stick it out and do what you can. Mm-hmm. Do what you can to kind of keep plugging along, and consistency, just kind of showing up for yourself, and expect it to take a little bit longer than 6 weeks or 2 months or whatever. Like, it's going to be lifelong change, which is also why making crazy dramatic changes specifically for like a beginner avatar, but really for anybody, like it's pretty hard to retain people when you flip their world upside down and change how they eat and working out 0 days to 6 days a week and all the crazy stuff. So that's cool for beginners. I think another avatar that I'd like to talk about, so we've talked about the beginner person, the newbie who's coming in. Now is the person that maybe they've been working out for a while, or maybe this is a new person too, but this avatar is a person who's they're just busy. They're maybe a new mom, maybe they just got a promotion at work and so they're very job focused. Maybe, like, again, this person is maybe where fitness and nutrition isn't their number one lifeblood, which for most people that's true. Mm-hmm. But again, they want to maintain their fitness or improve it a little bit. They want to get better in their health. How does that person who maybe only has literally their 3 30-minute windows a week or 3 45-minute windows a week, how do they have success on a program or a fitness routine?
Like on my program?
Well, yeah, you can talk about your program, but like I would just say, like for our program, one thing that's important, and I think for people to know, and I think this goes for not just this avatar, but maybe if you're just having a season of life or a couple weeks where things are a little bit busy, is to remember, like, there are 5 days programmed on the Lift Heavy Swing Fast. You just talked about how 3 of those days are like the primary strength days. So for one, that person should focus on the lowest hanging fruit and the thing that's going to be moving the needle the most, which are the 3 lift days. Breaking that down further is like, you don't necessarily have to complete the whole workout every time. Right. Yes, as it's written, you want to definitely like look at that and try to do the best that you can. Maybe you're doing, not doing the cool down movements for a few minutes at the end, or maybe you're doing your mobility movements before you even get in the car to go to the gym, so that you're like already warmed up, something like that. Or you're walking to the gym to get your heart rate up, and you're maybe not doing as much of the mobility. Having that autonomy and just being able to think through that. I know that that's hard. That does come with experience, which is why I think that's not necessarily a thing to do as a beginner. I think it is helpful as a beginner to have structure and to follow a template, because you just don't know. Mm-hmm. But as you learn your body and you understand, it's okay that I think people get really caught up in like, if something is written in the app or on a piece of paper, that it's like, well, this is like, it has to be done in this way. Right. It's okay to like not do 3 sets and just do 2. Like it doesn't mean that it's not the all or nothing. It doesn't mean that you won't have success. It doesn't mean that you can't lift heavier the following week. You can look at a program and kind of look at it. Okay, how can I tackle this today? How can I have success with following a program and structure it in my week in a way that works best for me? And maybe on a weekend day, maybe you have a little bit more time as opposed to during the work week. And that's when you can give yourself a full hour, or like really work on your mobility a little bit more that day and do like more of a warm up or more priming or whatever. But I'd love to like hear your thoughts on that too.
Yeah. I mean, lucky for people who join our program and our community is we have a platform called Circle, where if someone ever comes across issues like that, that's, not just a one-off or something like that, they should write it down on the platform, on the forum, and get some feedback. And I'd be more than happy to kind of go in between each person's like individual needs and try to figure out what would be the best course of action for however busy they are. But you're right. Like, I mean, and also like the way I've always written workouts is that did I say hierarchy of needs earlier? I'm going to use that again. So like, you put your more important like exercises first, like when you're less fatigued, you know, it's at your fresh beginning of the workout. So like, I wouldn't skip those and jump to the end, right?
Yeah.
Like I would do the workout in order and just stop where you stop. Like if you got a hard 30-minute stop, do as much as you can, follow the prescribed rest periods, still like do it how you're supposed to do it, bring the intensity, probably take the intensity even higher because your time frame is shorter, and see how far you get. Yes. And when time is up, you got to go.
Totally.
Wherever that is. You know, if you get to the finisher, you know, because now I program finishers in there, and there's 3 rounds program. Sometimes there's 5 in the new in-season programming that's coming out on Monday. If you get a round in and your alarm clock goes off and you got to get in the shower and take the kids to school or whatever it is, like that's it.
No, I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm so glad that by no means are we saying cherry pick workouts, which means, oh, I like this movement, I'm going to do this one. Like if I had to cherry pick a program workout, I would do all leg movements and I would probably never do upper body.
You'd be unlike every other guy at the gym.
I think I was just about to say every dude is inverse to that. Maybe I like it because then I can have all the equipment that's like lower body to myself. Mm-hmm. No, but it's not about cherry picking and choosing movements that you like or enjoy the most. By all means, that's like, it's cool and you should enjoy your workouts, but you definitely, again, want to follow a program that's balanced, and programs have a lot of thought that go into them. I know that people might not know this that aren't in the space, which is totally fine. When you buy a program, your job is to do the program and not think about it. That's the beauty of a program.
Your job is to pay the money, and my job is to spend all the time.
Is to spend the time.
That's our transaction right there.
Totally. So by no means is this like saying, you know, look at this program and like modify the fuck out of it. No, that's not what we're saying. But yes, definitely go in the order of the workouts for sure. Your compound lifts and things like that that are in the beginning, that are the most taxing. And if you're finding yourself continuously skipping a certain day, be it, I'm always skipping that lower body exercise day or the upper, or like I don't like doing any. For me, like if I'm skipping things that have to do with like the cable machine. I just probably shouldn't do that. So.
And then like in our program, like to get real technical, what I would want someone to do, like, and this is like, you know, again, like I don't want, like if you were to do Monday's workout and you don't work out again until Friday, I technically would want you to do Wednesday's workout. Yeah. Not Fridays.
Right.
But again, we were talking about the autonomy, like it's still fine.
If it's happening one week, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. If you're continuously skipping that Wednesday workout, that second workout of the week is constantly dropping, then we might need to restructure the days that you're working out. Another technique that I think can help people that sometimes is beneficial is splitting the workout into 2 parts. Mm-hmm. Some people, a lot of people now have home gyms, so maybe you have the capability of doing that a little bit more easily if you work from home, or at least maybe you go to the gym in the morning and then you do your 15 minutes of mobility in the afternoon, or you do like your accessory cable work, mm-hmm. or your, stabilization on the cables or whatever, mm-hmm. later in the day. That could be another way to just effectively manage your day for people that don't necessarily have depending on how far away you live from your gym. Sometimes it's a 2-hour commitment just going and traveling and showering and doing the whole thing, like, mm-hmm. or 90 minutes. So splitting it up into a couple sessions can also just be like another tool or tactic that people can use and still get in the amount of, or even the next day, maybe you're splitting those 3 days up into 4 days, but they're shorter days or something like that.
That's going to be kind of like my plan. When we actually finally get some good weather around here, is I'll probably start doing like the first half of my in-season workout, because I follow along the program too that everyone else does, and I want to do I'll probably do my heavy lifts in the morning, and then if I'm gonna go play golf, I'll come home and eat, work for a little bit, and then play probably in the afternoon, and I'll probably do like the finisher that I wrote in there, and probably with a little bit more mobility or something, like a pre-round like golf warm up.
Yep.
And do like my finisher and then go play golf. And I also have the convenience of, I live 10 minutes of walking away from the golf course, so it'd be like my warm up workout, and then I'll go play, and that'll take me, 15 minutes to do that whole warm up and everything, and that's also like the finishing circuit that I put in the in-season programming too. So that might be something I do. It's always, the 2 workouts a day is like, for me, it's like, I got to shower twice.
Well, in the summer we were going to shower.
But the summer,
all
like
day
if I go play
anyways.
golf, like I'm
Yes.
going to be covered in sunscreen. I got to shower anyways.
Yes.
So
We're going to be sweating on the golf course no matter what. So I think it's just double shower day is coming very soon.
Yeah.
No, I think that's good. I think that's hopefully that really helps people because again, there's nuance, and I think it's important for people to know that writing programming for the masses is challenging because everybody is different, you know, but again, you know, our goal is to make this affordable for a lot of people, and we want to be able to help people because doing one-on-one training, while as awesome and effective as it is, like that means that an hour of your day is taken up just to help one person, and we really want to help more people.
Right.
And so again, that's why we offered Circle. We have definitely ways to get in touch with us as coaches when it comes to any fitness and nutrition type questions so that people can ask. And, you know, when you ask a question on there, somebody else probably has the same question. A lot of the same things do come up. And so it's important for us to, you know, hopefully help people along the way to make the program accessible.
Yeah. And I mean, I catch myself, you know, now, you know, that we are doing so much and like trying to do so much that it almost has like, to me, like people ask like individual questions and we're giving individual answers like out to like, and I want everyone to be able to read it so that way it can apply to you as well. But it's like, it definitely has, I mean, we're only charging $29 a month and we're like providing almost like a personal training experience to a lot of these people.
Yes.
So you know, we're doing a lot, and it's awesome because nothing like that is out there, especially in this golf space, where people are still like trying to figure out what the hell golf fitness is, and they're bastardizing it all over the place. So, I mean, it's and to each their own. Like, you know, if I obviously think the way I do is the best, and there's gonna be someone out there that thinks the way they do it is the best, and that's kind of the joy of the world that we live in. So.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I think that'll lead me to our final avatar person, actually, of what did you say? Bastardizing.
Was that the right word? Should we edit that?
No, I think it's
good.
I think it's a good word. Because I think that the industry as a whole sometimes just is. And our last person, avatar, is the person that needs to do every protocol out there and every wellness thing out there and everything that Huberman says that to do and whatever his protocol is. It's crazy to me, like how quickly people just think that they can latch on to this 10-step process or this person's morning routine or this person's wind down routine, plus all the fitness, plus counting your macros, plus, and I work a full-time job and I have a full family. We're missing the point. Like, and so this avatar isn't necessarily the beginner. These people are not obsessed. The beginner is not obsessed with all the things. Yeah, they don't know the things. The person who's super busy, they're doing their other things. Like they have other like life things going on that they're focusing on. These people are, you know, just out there on the Instagrams or consuming the things, and maybe they're really passionate about fitness and health. And I think that that's totally fine. And like, I'm preaching to just people that are also in our space and our bubble a little bit too, but also the people who are like curious, that are thinking that if they lean on these things that'll lead them to better health. I cannot stress enough to people like that at the end of the day, as much as we'll preach getting good sleep and eating good food and doing good for your body and strength training and prioritizing your health is 100% true, it cannot get lost with not having any social life or any fun or being playful or removing like any fun thing whatsoever and not having even time to like just like fuck around. Like people are getting so wrapped up in some of this stuff. I was like talking to a client that was like, wow, I'm consuming these podcasts and I'm tracking my macros and I'm trying to do a diet. And, but she's also like a super busy working professional, like a total bad bitch, but like very overwhelmed with like all of the protocol things and the wellness things. And I'm like, when's the last time you like spontaneously went out for the weekend with your partner and just said, fuck it, and didn't do your workouts for like 3 days, like just a few days. I'm not saying like take off the gym for 6 weeks and just like go have at it and eat your weight and like ice cream and whatever. But part of health is like having flexibility and having autonomy, like to bring it full circle is to like, it shouldn't stress you out. I think that's an important thing that I'm trying to drive home is like, we don't want to create workouts and programs that stress you out more, and it shouldn't. yes, learning something new or learning a new movement might be uncomfortable and like things might feel a little bit harder or take you a little bit longer in the beginning, like whatever. But like, we don't need to be feeling stressed out if we're missing one workout or cutting 15 minutes of a workout off, or,
Right.
you know, choosing instead of being with our family, like, I got to go do this, listen to my podcast and get my steps in. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
Right.
no, there needs to be a little bit of like, have the fun, relax. Again, some people need more coaching to get up and move their ass, but some people need to scale back. Like, for progress for some people is like being okay with like letting things slip a little bit and having the flexibility and being okay to like go off the path. Like, the worst thing to happen. So I always tell people, I'm like, what's the worst case scenario here?
Right.
What's the worst case scenario if you take an extra day off at the gym? What's the worst case scenario if you don't get your 10,000 steps today, or whatever it is, right? So I just kind of wanted to highlight that because it's been coming up a lot. And I think it's important for people to remember that health is also just a lot more than the things that are written on paper and what the research says and all of that stuff. Like, health is also about having fun, being playful and whatever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do have to admit that since I've transitioned to training just golfers over the past few years, I see less and less of that, because golfers typically are able to go play golf, and a lot of them like to, you know, have a beverage while they're out there. So I think golfers are, you know, built to like go out there and because they love golf. You know, they do have fun, and it's usually, and a lot of times it's followed by some kind of social event or things like that. So that is what a good part about the game is. But yeah, to your point, like, you know, people are just overwhelmed by the information that's out there, all the wearables, so many things. Like, you know, if you listen to David Goggins or one of those guys, is like, I don't give a fuck. I don't take any days off. I work 20 hours a day. I don't give a shit. You know, that's it's awesome. Good for them. But, you know, yeah, like, it doesn't take, you don't have to do that to be successful in the gym. Like, you can be a normal human too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just permission to like do you sometimes. And I think, again, everyone's different. Some people need to level it up in their fitness world and drink less booze on the weekends playing golf. And some people need to like do drink more booze. Like, I don't know, or do like have a little bit more fun. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's just about like, again, doing what's best for you. So shall we end our podcast with our first ever What Are We Obsessed With This Week, or whatever we're going to call this little series that we're going to do?
That's pretty fun.
What are we obsessed with this week?
Obsessed.
So what are you obsessed with this week?
Maybe not obsessed.
If somebody has a better title than obsessed or a better idea, let us know.
It's 100% a working title, without copying off of some of the other cool ones that are out there. But basically just a topic of the week that keeps coming up that we want to elaborate on, whether it's golf, fitness, or otherwise. So I think mine kind of goes into both. So a popular trend, and I know it's a joke. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and give these guys shit, because I know they're joking, or at least I think they are. But it's this obsession with like impressing the cart girl on the golf course, as if the cart girl gives a shit how far you hit the golf ball or what you look like. So, you know, there's memes, or there's guys that make videos or all this kind of stuff. It's like, oh, the cart girl pulls up. So like, yeah, I mean, maybe you do get nervous, like, you know, because like it's embarrassing. You're about to hit a bad shot and an extra person's watching and it happens to be a female. But I got to admit, like, I'm trying to think of the last time I saw a cart girl. I'm pretty sure the last one I saw was she at South Lakes here in Jinx? And I'm pretty sure she was like a high school girl. So it's like, calm down, bros. Like, they're not even of age, like the girls you're out here trying to impress. And I just air quoted impress if you're listening to us. And then I don't get it. They're out there just to do a job, but here we are like thinking that we need to get in shape or hit a bomb, like, you know, change your club out. Instead of hitting an iron, you need to hit your driver because the cart girl pulled up and you're trying to impress her. Like, I don't know. It's just blowing my mind. It comes up a lot of like, that's what we go into the gym to train for golf fitness for, is to look good or to impress a female who's out there trying to do her job. So I don't know, like, that's just taken away from what I want to, that I think that golf and training for golf in the gym is all about. It's about performance and not just being a jackass and trying to impress the cart girl who probably doesn't want to talk to you. And you should probably tip her well, especially if you're going to like try to hit on her too. Like, you should tip her even more.
I have so many things to say.
But maybe I shouldn't have said that. But like, the girl's just trying to do her job. Get your beer, tip her, tell her to have a nice day instead of holding her up.
Yeah, she doesn't care at all.
She doesn't care that you just hit a drive, and probably aren't that good of a golfer anyways. But because the real golfers out there, all they care about is playing golf. But that's just my little peeve that keeps coming up. And I also don't like that. I think what aggravates me the most is that they're making a joke about this business, and it's something I take seriously. Like, I want people's human performance to be a priority in their life, and not as this fucking joke that, hey, we're trying to impress this high school cart girl. And they're not all high school girls. And I know there's like some places out there, like there was a place in Florida. I never went to it, but I think it's where people have their bachelor parties, and like the cart girls are like strippers, and they come out there and they do the whole thing. Like, go there and do that. Like, that's the spot for you, not your local public course where the girl is doing her summer job trying to make a few bucks for college or high school.
I think we're good.
Done.
Good. That was good. Thank you for sharing that with everybody. I mean, it's just like everything else in this industry. It's for clicks and likes,
right?
And it's catchy on the algorithm, like whatever. That's really all it is. The fitness industry is full of that. Guys, no one's looking at you at the gym that are females. It's guys on guys all the time. Like, girls, this is permission for you out there to like literally give zero fucks, because they are not looking at you. They are looking at each other and looking at who can outbench each other and out like big dick each other. It's what the culture is. And it's the same thing on the golf course. It's the same exact thing. You are not giving a fuck what this girl thinks. You are caring what this guy thinks that's maybe a good golfer or whatever. Like, you guys are out there impressing each other with y'all's egos. It's very funny. But I appreciate you bringing that up, because it's just a thing that's in the industry right now, of just these clickbaity things that are, they're going to get people likes, and they're going to get people to sign up and click on his profile and whatever. And like, who knows, his programming is probably really not that good, or whoever's posting about that stuff.
And I don't even remember, there's multiple, like this is a thing.
What I'm saying is the he avatar,
right,
whoever is posting about it probably doesn't have a really good product. So that's probably why they're posting that stuff.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm obsessed with this week, I'm just going to roll with it, is ice cream. That's so basic. I know that, like, I'm not going to even talk about it for that long. That's just it. Ice cream's having a moment for me. I haven't, we've had ice cream every single week now for like a while. And this is something that's kind of new for us. But
did we in DC?
Florida, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, we were in Florida. We went to this place called Wits. It was something that we did multiple times a week, because that's when we were training. I was eating like 2,800 calories a day. So it was like not a big deal to eat Wits.
We used to go every day.
Yeah, we went like 5 times a week.
Every day, yeah.
Because they would do a flavor of the day, which was like totally great marketing, like so good. But ever since then, we've kind of been like on a consistent ice cream cadence. And I just want to shout out to ice cream, because it's fucking good.
Shout out to ice cream.
Shout out to ice cream.
Just ice cream.
I just feel like, I want to know, like, do people go through phases in the way that, like, we kind of sometimes go through phases, but do people go through phases of like places that they go out to eat, or places that they really like? I think.
I would phase Olive Garden every afternoon.
I know. I now I'm like feeling like we are getting to that, like, we're getting older, because it's like you do go to the places that that are good. Like, you're just done putting up with the latest catchy bullshit thing. Like, I want to go to a place that I know is really good, and like, we've been doing good about that. But specifically with our ice cream in Tulsa, we've been going to Andy's. It's so good. If you have an Andy's where you're at, you must go. It's a Midwest chain. Like, they're in like Kansas, Oklahoma. I think there's some Texas locations. Yeah, maybe in Dallas. Yeah, Andy's probably. Custard is so bomb. We've been going every single week, and I don't ever want to stop. And they have an app. That's it. I just wanted to inform the people. The people need to know.
The app is good.
The app is good. You get your points, and for your $8 like ice cream.
Are we going tonight?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. After sushi, it's great after sushi too, because you got like the saltiness of the sushi and you get the sweet instead of the ice cream.
Yeah, so hopefully that's a little more fun than the one than you're obsessed with this week. But I like
then my rant.
It was just hot and steamy, so I went down the other way of just ice cream to end on a good note.
I kind of ended up getting fired up about it, because it's just like,
I know,
don't bastardize our industry. Can I use that word again? Did that work like
it's
like
fine. That? We're going ham this episode. But with that, I think that's enough. We've talked a lot about our programs. Lift Heavy, Swing Fast is live AF. It's been out for 5-6 weeks now. We've got about 100 people in the program.
Over 100.
Growing. Over 100. We're getting more and more people every day, which is really, really cool to see. So find us on CodyWescottGolf.com. You can easily access our programs there. And of course, Cody Wescott Golf on Instagram. And that's it.
YouTube.
And the YouTubes. Our YouTube channel has literally thousands of videos of movements, but also you can find if you're a listener of the podcast, for sure hit up our YouTube channel as well. If you want to see our faces and follow along. Cool. Thanks everybody. We'll talk soon.
Thanks. Bye.